a respected surgeon turned organ trafficker, the FBI's most horrific medical manhunt. Dr. Hassan Mahmoud had built a distinguished career at Detroit Medical Center. Board certified in transplant surgery, he commanded respect from colleagues and trust from patients. Behind the white coat and gentle bedside manner, however, federal investigators would later discover one of the most horrific criminal enterprises in modern medical history. In October 2016, Detroit police discovered the first victim in an abandoned warehouse on the city's east side. The body showed signs of surgical precision, organs harvested with clinical expertise. What initially appeared to be an isolated case quickly escalated when forensic evidence linked the crime to Mahmoud's surgical instruments. Within weeks, FBI agents uncovered a pattern spanning 3 years and 23 victims. The scope of Mahmoud's operation shocked even veteran investigators. Court documents would later reveal an international organ trafficking network generating $15 million annually. Victims were lured through fake medical trials, promised experimental treatments for terminal conditions. Instead, they were murdered and their organs sold to wealthy buyers across Europe and the Middle East. Hearts, livers, kidneys, harvested with surgical precision and shipped in medical-grade containers. FBI Special Agent Lisa Chen, who would lead the manhunt, described the case as medical terrorism on an international scale. The victims ranged from desperate cancer patients to homeless individuals who trusted a doctor's promise of help. Each murder was calculated, methodical, and driven by pure greed. By November 2016, the FBI had issued federal warrants, charging Mahmoud with 23 counts of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and operating a criminal enterprise. Additional charges included mail fraud, wire fraud, and violating the National Organ Transplant Act. The death penalty was on the table. With evidence mounting and arrest imminent, Dr. Hassan Mahmoud vanished without a trace. The FBI added him to their 10 most wanted list, offering a $2 million reward. The manhunt for America's most wanted organ trafficker was about to begin. On November 18, 2016, FBI agents arrived at Mahmoud's Grosse Pointe mansion with arrest warrants and tactical support. They found an empty house and a cold trail. Neighbors reported seeing moving trucks 3 days earlier. The doctor had vanished. Federal investigators immediately launched a comprehensive search operation. Agent Chen assembled a task force of 37 agents from Detroit, Chicago, and Washington field offices. They raided known associates' homes, frozen bank accounts, and issued bolo alerts across all transportation networks. Early searches revealed the sophistication of Mahmoud's escape planning. Investigators discovered 3 safe houses across Michigan, all recently abandoned. Shredded documents filled industrial dumpsters. Computer hard drives had been professionally wiped. Mahmoud had liquidated millions in assets weeks before the investigation became public. His medical licenses in 4 states were suspended, but he was already gone. The FBI's breakthrough came through Mahmoud's international connections. Financial records revealed wire transfers to Turkish medical facilities and Swiss bank accounts. Phone records showed encrypted communications with contacts in Istanbul, Athens, and Vienna. The organ trafficking network extended far beyond Detroit's borders. Surveillance footage from Detroit Metropolitan Airport showed a man matching Mahmoud's description boarding a Turkish Airlines flight to Istanbul on November 15, 3 days before the arrest warrants were issued. Airport security cameras captured him using a false passport bearing the name Dr. Kemal Özdemir. By the time FBI agents reached Istanbul, working with Turkish authorities, the trail had gone cold. Turkish National Police searched medical facilities across Istanbul and Ankara. They interviewed colleagues at Istanbul University Medical School, where Mahmoud had completed his residency 20 years earlier. Several doctors confirmed seeing someone resembling Mahmoud, but no concrete leads emerged. For 6 months, the FBI pursued ghost sightings across Europe. A doctor in Athens reported suspicious organ procurement offers. Vienna police investigated reports of black market surgical operations. Each lid seemed promising until agents arrived to find empty operating rooms and vanished suspects. The organ trafficker had disappeared into an underground network that spanned continents. The FBI's most complex medical manhunt was just beginning. Agent Chen coordinated with Interpol to launch Operation Medical Justice in March 2017. The international task force grew to 47 agents across 8 countries, with a budget exceeding $3 million. Their target remained elusive, but his criminal network continued operating. For 3 years, the manhunt stretched across Europe and the Middle East. Turkish authorities provided crucial intelligence about Mahmoud's medical connections, while Interpol coordinated surveillance operations in Vienna, Athens, Prague, and Geneva. Each city harbored a piece of the organ trafficking puzzle. The closest call came in Athens during summer 2018. Greek police raided a private medical facility after receiving tips about illegal organ surgeries. They found surgical equipment still warm, blood samples in refrigeration units, and evidence of recent operations. Security cameras showed a figure in surgical scrubs who matched Mahmoud's build and movement patterns. But the suspect had vanished 15 minutes before authorities arrived. He was like smoke, Agent Chen later recalled. Every time we thought we had him cornered, he slipped away. Vienna proved another near miss in early 2019. Austrian authorities tracked suspicious financial transactions to a medical supply company. Undercover agents posed as buyers seeking organ procurement services. The operation led to a luxury apartment where surveillance equipment captured audio of a man with Mahmoud's distinctive voice discussing kidney prices with potential clients. When tactical teams surrounded the building, they found sophisticated counter-surveillance equipment and escape tunnels leading to underground parking. The apartment's occupant had fled hours earlier, leaving behind surgical instruments and organ preservation containers. DNA evidence confirmed Mahmoud's presence, but once again, he had anticipated law enforcement's moves. Meanwhile, the trafficking network continued claiming victims. Interpol documented 12 suspicious deaths across 4 countries, patients who had sought experimental treatments and disappeared. Each case showed Mahmoud's surgical signature, precise organ removal, and professional medical technique. The FBI increased the reward to $5 million. Mahmoud's photograph appeared on Interpol's most wanted list in 17 languages. Medical communities across Europe received alerts about the fugitive surgeon. But after 3 years and countless man-hours, the organ trafficker remained free. Then, in Prague, everything changed. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. In October 2019, Czech authorities arrested Dr. Alexei Petrov, a Russian surgeon caught smuggling organs through Prague International Airport. Facing 30 years in prison, Petrov offered information about his former partner, Hassan Mahmoud. Petrov revealed that Mahmoud had established a new base of operations in Prague, using the identity of Dr. Ahmet Yilmaz, and working with a network of corrupt medical professionals. The fugitive had grown confident after 3 years of successful evasion, and was planning his largest operation yet, a $2 million transaction involving multiple organ harvests. Mahmoud believed he was untouchable. Agent Chen later testified. That arrogance became his downfall. Interpol agents, working with Czech intelligence, devised an elaborate undercover operation. Special Agent Michael Torres, a 20-year FBI veteran, would pose as Dr. Robert Chen, a wealthy American surgeon representing clients willing to pay premium prices for organs. The cover story required 6 months of careful preparation. The FBI created an entire false medical identity for Torres. Fake medical degree from Johns Hopkins, fabricated surgical history, and a sophisticated network of references. Torres underwent crash courses in surgical terminology and organ procurement procedures. Every detail had to be perfect. Mahmoud would spot any inconsistencies. Initial contact came through encrypted communications in February 2020. Dr. Yilmaz responded to Torres's inquiries about organ availability with professional caution. Weeks of careful negotiation followed, with Mahmoud gradually revealing his operation's scope. He boasted about his surgical expertise and international client base, never suspecting he was speaking to federal agents. By June 2020, Mahmoud agreed to meet Torres in Prague to finalize a $2 million deal involving hearts, livers, and kidneys from 6 victims. The meeting was scheduled for July 15 at a private medical facility in Prague's Vinarity district. Agent Chen coordinated with Czech authorities to prepare the arrest operation. Surveillance teams monitored the facility for weeks. Technical specialists installed listening devices and cameras throughout the building. Tactical units rehearsed the takedown repeatedly. After 3 years, 8 countries, and countless dead ends, the FBI was about to close the net on America's most wanted organ trafficker. On July 15, 2020, at precisely 2:47 p.m., Dr. Hassan Mahmoud walked into the Prague medical facility for what he believed would be his largest payday. Instead, he walked into a carefully orchestrated FBI trap that had been 3 years in the making. Surveillance cameras captured every moment. Mahmoud, now sporting gray hair and wire-rimmed glasses, carried a leather briefcase containing surgical instruments and organ preservation materials. He greeted Dr. Chen with professional confidence, discussing victim selection and surgical timelines with chilling casualness. He was completely at ease, Agent Torres later recalled. He had no idea 40 agents were positioned around that building. The conversation lasted 18 minutes. Mahmoud detailed his Prague operation, named accomplices across Europe, and confirmed his involvement in 23 Detroit murders. When he opened his briefcase to display surgical tools, Czech tactical teams moved in. "Federal agents, you're under arrest." The words echoed through the medical facility as armed agents surrounded Mahmoud from multiple entrances. His reaction was captured on hidden cameras. Shock, then a desperate attempt to reach an exit. 2 agents tackled him before he could escape. Mahmoud's first words after arrest: "You have the wrong person. I am Dr. Yilmaz." When agents presented evidence of his true identity, including DNA matches from Vienna and Athens, he finally confessed, "I never meant for anyone to die. It was just business." Extradition to the United States took 14 months due to international legal procedures. In December 2021, Hassan Mahmoud faced trial in federal court in Detroit. The evidence was overwhelming. Victim testimonies, DNA evidence, financial records, and his own recorded confessions from Prague. The jury deliberated for less than 4 hours. Guilty on all counts. 23 counts of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, operating a continuing criminal enterprise, and multiple federal fraud charges. On March 8, 2022, Judge Patricia Williams sentenced Hassan Mahmoud to life in prison without possibility of parole, plus an additional 847 years. "Your crimes represent a betrayal of medical ethics and human decency that defies comprehension," she stated during sentencing. Today, Hassan Mahmoud serves his sentence at ADX Florence Supermax Prison in Colorado. The FBI's most complex medical manhunt was finally over. Justice had been served.